aneurysm. And we are back, I hope. I don't have any sound in my game. That is a concern. It looks like we are under safety car conditions. I do hope that you can hear my voice because I cannot hear any game audio. A little bit worrying. Stand by, I'll just try and fix that before we carry on. Okay, here we go. It's good at my end again. So safety car is out. Annie Lloydie leads the race. So what's been going on since I left? Glorious Noodle P4. Dan the Racer P6, Almost Crook P7. So I imagine those guys are pitted. We'll just confirm that in a moment. And indeed, that is what has happened. RS Spitty sits P5. He's got a pen. Good old safety cars, they always bring the pack back together, and the guys down the order who looked dead and buried are all of a sudden back in the mix and with potential to really throw their weight around and get a decent result after it looked pretty hopeless. Looks like Drell's the one who DNF'd the safety car, I believe. So to lay down the order, we'll see what he does. He's already made a stop, but I think that was for earlier damage. We'll see if he wants to get off those hard tyres. Does he pit? No, he doesn't. So he stays out. Which is an interesting move. Be right back. I'm just going to post the new link to the stream in the Discord chat. Be back in a moment. Alright, sorry guys, it's not often smooth sailing with these streams, but looks like we're about to go racing again. Annie Lloydie running on the hard tyres is not pitted, but he leads the race. Bear 2.0 in the Alpine is second. Team Miller all the way up in third place, I believe, with a 5-second pen. So when is Annie going to go? He's weaving. Bear 2.0 is waiting and watching and is caught a little bit napping. See who's been able to capitalise down the order. RS Spitty is all over the back of Glorious Noodle, and Noodle's just about giving him room. Goodness gracious me. Pouring down into the turn 1 and 2 chicane, and it looks like someone's run over the... Is that Team Miller? Oh goodness me, what's going on there? Someone has gone for a little cross-country adventure. There's the jostling. Oh, goodness me, RS Spitty's completely overcooked that. He'll cut over the sausage curbs, rejoin. Did he get a pen for that? Surely. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, and someone's lost it. It's Team Miller in the gravel. And, oh boys. Oh no. Oh, it's been a bit of a shambles, I have to be honest. I think I could count on one hand how many drivers have not bottled it so far. Anyway, we'll rejoin a half-decent battle with Lieutenant, trying to get his way back up the order. The pole man Looking up the inside, going into Parabolica of Asher. Will they give each other room? Yes, they will. Good, clean move from those two. And I'm pretty sure Lieutenant has made that position stick. Down the order, Seb comes into the pits. He's not having a clean race at all. Nor is this man. Nor is this man. New wing for Seb. Join the back at the front of the field. Bear 2.0 chasing Aniup Lloydie. The AlphaTauri man leading by about half a second, and I'd imagine trying to break the DRS. But easier said than done. Someone's caused yellows. It's delayed. Down at turn 1 at the Reta Filio chicane. Probably butchered that pronunciation, but we'll move on. A bit of a corner cut there from Bear. He needs to watch that. Glorious Noodle's got himself a 3-second pen. Trying to hang on to the back of RS City. But Bear 2.0 is looking good. 65% ERS. Good amount in the bank. Similar amount for Aniup, so we'll see them both, I'd imagine, deploy here. I'm not sure if DRS has been enabled yet, but it's a good run to Bear. Aniup covers the inside. Bear going around the outside. No DRS at this stage. Both drivers burning the ERS. And they're going to go side by side into the Reta Filio chicane. This will be interesting. Aniup keeps the position. They allow each other some room. Very respectful, but maybe too respectful, because RS Spitty his eyes have lit up, and oh my word, the door's been slammed shut by Bear. RS Spitty all over the back of the Alpine. Burning through his ERS, something chronic. Now a three-way scrap in very close proximity for the lead. Coming through the first Lesmo. You need to keep it clean through here if you want to get a run on the DRS straight. Through the second Lesmo. DRS activated. Bear 2.0 is not far behind Aniup Lloydie. Aniup Lloydie shifting his car to the left of the track just slightly. Covering off any temptation. Oh, goodness me, Bear 2.0's got his line a little bit wrong there. And Spitty has got it even more wrong and has put it in the barrier. He may not have damage, but oh, that's going to give him damage. That is rear wing damage City. And Spitty just spat off the curb, I think, into the wall, and more bottles in a Coke factory here as Bear 2.0 down the inside of Aniup with DRS. This will be a lot easier. Oopsie daisies, that's great TV work. And oh, they're side by side. Are they going to give each other room? Just about. Bear 2.0 takes the lead of the race. And now can he open the DRS gap? 7/10. Coming through Curva Grande. Heading up to the Variante della Roggia. Nice and clean, kissing those apexes. Aniup Lloydie is staying in touch for now. I think delayed. Surely. Got to know when enough's enough. The Season 5 Open Tier 2 Drivers Champion. Let's remember, he's got pedigree, but he's got 5-second pit lane speeding pens today and a lot of spins to his name. He'll come into the pits. I don't know what he's going to do here. He's going to throw on, what's that, a set of mediums? I don't know. He needs a safety car and a miracle. Back at the front of the pack, it looks like Spitty's binned it. Spitty's binned it at Ascari, and is that going to bring out at least a virtual? My word. Someone's dropping down the order. Who's that? Okay, Glorious Noodle and Bear are in the pits. Okay, so Bear comes in off his mediums. As does Noodle, potentially. So Bear will come out on, I think, the hard tyres. Yes, indeed. And Noodle on the mediums. Okay, so a little bit of a disparity there. But no virtual. So only local yellows. And we're back under green. So I think potential potentially true that Bear and Glorious Noodle anticipated a virtual at least, and it didn't come, so I mean, have they compromised their strategy? We'll have to wait and see. Back at the front, it's Aniup, who has not stopped yet. He's kept his nose pretty clean. The only driver yet to go down pit lane. He leads by 3.3 seconds over Honest Crook. Aniup running the hards. Now, how long are the mediums going to do? I'm pretty sure you could pit around about now and get to the end. So we'll see if Aniup comes into the pits. Meanwhile, there's a three-way battle for P2 going on here between Crookie, Dan, and Lieutenant. Lieutenant trying to... Oh, goodness me. Honest Crook's had a mare. Dan the Racer seems I'll have some of that. But keep an eye on Lieutenant here. He's got a great view of this battle as Crookie tries to get Dan the Racer back. Oh, this could get messy. This could get really messy. Crookie down the inside, Dan on the outside. Keep it clean, boys. Oh, just about. They're still battling. Dan the Racer is going to get in the slipstream, burn through his ERS. Honest Crook's not even interested in using his ERS. He's confident. He'll take a brave move to pass someone in here, and Dan the Racer wisely thinks better of it. Once again. Oh, look out. Poor exit from Crook. Dan the Racer just having a nosy, just saying, I'm here. Backing out of it. And what sort of exit can Honest Crook get out of the second Lesmo? Looks like a decent exit, but Dan the Racer is on ERS and he's got his DRS open, and surely Honest Crook will have little he can do. He's not even defending with his battery. And sure enough, Dan the Racer takes P2, and Honest Crook is in danger of being passed by Lieutenant, and he is, and Lieutenant has bitten off more than he can chew. Round he goes. Spin number 347 of the race. Almost 348 immediately, and goodness gracious me, is it written in the stars that Aniup Lloydie is going to win this race purely on the basis of not bottling it? Let's wait and see. He comes into the pits on his hard tyres, presumably to put on mediums. He's going to go for softs, be a bit brave. I think those are medium tyres. Out he comes. Is he going to get some clear air? I think he's possibly going to come out with a little bit of company. Is he? No, he's going to come out just ahead of Bear, who he was scrapping with before, of course. So Aniup comes out with track position and with fresher tyres. He'll need a couple of corners just to warm those up. But that is looking very, very handy for Aniup. Now what he needs to hope for now is that there's no virtual, certainly no full safety car, because if there is, as yellows come out, who's caused those? It's delayed, having possibly the worst race in recorded history. Yeah, I think Aniup Lloydie is looking very, very good here. He just needs to keep it on the road. Ideally create a little bit of a gap to Bear, break DRS detection to the Alpine. He's currently within DRS detection, and someone down the order's had a moment. Is that Team Miller or Seb? This will be very interesting to see. Can Bear stay within... Delays haven't get another moment. That carries on. I think Bear's within the detection zone, so he should get DRS, and it's Monza. It is very, very powerful. Opens the flat, but look at that delta. It was about 7.5 tenths. It's coming down to almost under half a second, so that's 2.5 to 3 tenths gain just down that one straight alone. So it'll be crucial to be able to stay close. Glorious Noodle as well. Let's not forget him, he's close as well. Now these three are in a really, really good position here, passing the permanently spinning Ferrari. Of delayed. Back at the front. Ash is keeping a close eye on Dan the Racer. Quite a bit of battery in reserve, 40% versus Dan, who's sub 10%, as you can see by the red flashing light on the back of his Williams. Alpine even. And we'll just had another moment. Is that Glorious Noodle? It is. Glorious Noodle has now taken a turn to bin it, so he out of contention now. We're running out of contenders at the moment. I think Anioop and Bear really are the standouts. You've got Lieutenant, but he had a moment before and currently almost 7 seconds back, and he's diving into the pits. He's not interested in those hard tyres anymore. Now, I'd imagine he'll throw on the softs. I think they can last the distance. No, mediums for him. Okay. We'll bring up the tyre deltas, tyre age stats rather. How would we do that? There we go. So everyone's made a stop. So theoretically maybe don't need to stop again, as long as they've used 2 different compounds. So we've got the top 5 running on pretty old hards, but I think there's potentially a slim possibility that those hards would last to the end. Now if that were to be the case, you've got Anioop Lloydie running P6 on fresh mediums. His pace is going to be a lot better. You see the delta there, it's about 8 seconds to Crowjag, but that will go down even through Parabolica. It's going to drop, I'd imagine, by a couple of tenths just based on the tyre compound alone. If Anioop can be clean through here, which he is, gets on the power, and you see that delta's dropped to 7.8. Okay, a couple of tenths there. Fastest lap of the race with a 1:22.651. Anioop Lloydie 16 seconds off the lead. I don't know what a pit stop costs here. I'd imagine low 20-second range. Let's say 22, 23 seconds. But his delta is closing all the time to Honest Crook in the lead. It's interesting because if Honest Crook were to pit now, he'd come out 7 or 8 seconds behind Anioop with only 3 lap pressure mediums. I don't think that's going to be enough to close that gap, the gap that would be to Anioop Lloydie ahead. So do you commit? Do you commit and hope that Anioop cannot close a 14.5 second gap in the space of 8 laps? Interesting conundrum. I think Anioop Lloydie is in the box seat here, but when you're running in P1 as Honest Crook is, and Asher and Dan the Racer are up there as well, it's inevitable that you're going to be thinking, can I carry this through to the end? Is there a chance for me to win this race against the odds? Other people are likely to make mistakes. So with all that in mind, they'll be thinking, can I sneak this through? Because Anioop Lloydie's tyres, they're going to be quicker, but they're the slightly softer compound, of course, than the hard, so they'll be degrading quicker, and so Anioop needs to make hay while the sun shines. Speaking of the sun shining, the cloud cover is increasing rather significantly. Keep a little bit of an eye on that one. But everyone down from P6 through to, well, P8, I don't think they need to pit again. Seb on the soft certainly will. Lieutenant won't, but he's a long, long way down. He needs a safety car. So Anioop's done a 22.6 as his fastest lap. Honest Crook's fastest lap is 1.3 seconds slower. So at that rate, if they were to be doing that pace, which they won't, someone's had a moment. Is that Glorious Noodle? Yes, it is. Yet another spin for him. He's dead and buried, I think, I'm afraid. Anioop Lloydie with a 1.3 second a lap theoretical delta to the leaders with 6 laps to go. It's not going to be enough. But then the other question is, will those hards last? Do they have enough life in them as they get older and older and older to last through to the end? We're in for a very, very interesting final 6 laps, boys and girls. Let's see how it pans out. I've been riding with Anioop for quite a long time. Let's go on board with Honest Crook and see how he's looking. Seb comes into the pits and gets a 10. Honest Crook looking clean and tidy. A little bit of battery in reserve. losing grip a little bit through these corners. A couple of corrections there. He doesn't look super quick. He's maintaining the delta to Asher behind him. But Aniute's the one who's going to be posing the threat, I would say. Coming up to curve it, Parabolica. A little bit wide of the apex. Gets the power down. Not using all the track, so maybe not optimizing things as he could. So all he needs to do is lap consistently and not allow Aniute to close that gap sufficiently. Aniute 13 seconds back. Well. Ash has got 10 seconds apiece. Goodness me. So he's really out of contention. Crook, the biggest gainer so far from P13 on the grid, leads the race with 5 to go. Yeah, and the racer as well, gaining 9, seeing go up 11 positions. Not a lot of close battles going on here, unless you look back to Glorious Noodle and Seb, who are very much having a close battle side by side, scrapping over P9. Ooh, goodness me. Side by side through Curva Grande on fresh softs, both of them. Not a lot to lose at this point except some penalty points if they take each other out. Keeping it clean. With the Variante Della Roggia heading up to the first Lesmo, and ooh, goodness me, Glorious Noodle backing out of it. Lining up a move, I would say, down the next straight. Ooh, a little bit deep, almost tagging the back of the AlphaTauri. Decent exit though. On the DRS, on the ERS. Past he goes, not a lot that Seb can do. Seb didn't even really use his battery, I don't think, there. Can either of them get through without binning it? Yes, they can. Good. Seb on the battery, just trying to stay within DRS range. And oh my goodness me, Glorious Noodle. We were on board for about 4 corners and he's put it in the barrier. And he's retired from the race on track. Oh, that's not going to be a safety car, is it? Surely not. Surely not for Honest Crook and Dan the Racer. CN Goat. Oh, that would be a massive spanner in the works for their races. Looks like we might be getting away with it. I think we have localised yellows, but that should go green soon enough. Aniute Lloydie, try as he might, is not closing that gap anywhere near quick enough. Still 11 seconds behind. And Honest Crook looks like he has this race in control. Ash is out of the equation with his 10, so really the Honest Crook has a 6.5 second gap really to his nearest challenger, Dan the Racer. It'd be an amazing win for the Crookmeister in the Red Bull. Still a wee bit to go, but he's looking good. Looks like a bit of a battle here for it'll be effective P2, CN Goat chasing down Dan the Racer, both on pretty aged cards. CN Goat is within DRS range, just about to head down towards Parabolica. Dan the Racer effective P2 in the race and P2 in the championship. This is going to be a good points haul for him. Championship leader Seb is sitting P8 at the moment and not looking like getting much better than that. And Lloydie comes up to P5. best that he can do. Maybe, I mean, is he a chance for a podium? He's not far away from the battle I mentioned before. He's well within range, in fact. Less than 2 seconds behind CN Goat, so we're going to have a ding-dong battle here for the 2 remaining podium positions, I think, between 3 drivers. Has Aniut Lloydie got enough life in those tyres? He's been on them for 9 laps now. I'd imagine their life range before they get really painful is probably something like 13, 14 laps, so they're certainly getting on in years, are those mediums. But something else that's getting on is Aniut himself. He is closing the gap to CN Goat, 1.5 seconds now. Goat doesn't have DRS anymore. He's fallen out of range of Dan the Racer, who's put his foot down and decided, no, I want P2. So CN Goat is falling into the clutches of Aniut here. 2 laps to go at the end of this one. And the AlphaTauri is within DRS range. A little bit more battery as well, 21% versus 3. So to stay on board with this battle, Honest Crook leading by, wow, 7.2 effectively to his nearest challenger as CN Goat runs deep into the first chicane. That's not what you want to do. Comes out of Red Affilio with a decent exit, but he's lost quite a bit of time running deep. And Lloydie smells blood here, 100%. Crowjag's lurking there on old hards. Don't count him out, he's looking reasonably pacey, and Bear is not a million miles away either. I think laps are going to run out for these 2. Delayed's going to come home with some points after a shocker of a race. Aniut gets on the DRS in the slipstream of the Mercedes. The Mercedes covers the inside, but I think it's going to be a futile effort. Aniut Lloydie launches around the outside, and sure enough, CN Goat, nothing he could do. And Aniut, 1 and a bit laps to go. Can he take P2 in this race? Ash has got 10 seconds of pens. He's going to drop down to P6 or so. This is going to be very, very costly. Sylvie Williams, man, who's actually closing on Honest Crook. Honest Crook maybe just taking it a little bit easy. No DRS for Aniut. It's costly. Deep on the brakes, he'll be attacking. He needs to just keep it clean though. Maximise his lap time and hope. Coming out of the second Lesmo, he can activate that DRS and launch past Dan. Dan has been hoarding his battery though, look at this. That is intelligent driving. It's not just about raw pace, it's about choosing when to deploy your battery. And it's going to be very, very hard for Aniut to get past. He's got a little bit of DRS himself, but even with the rear wing open down this middle straight, it's not going to be enough, I don't think. Aniut's going to need Dan the Racer to get it all wrong through Ascari. Oh, Dan's a little bit out of shape and not nearly enough. And it looks like Dan has got P2 in the bag. We'll go on board with Honest Crook though, who rounds the final corner and wins, oh don't go in the pits, who wins the Italian Grand Prix. Excellent, excellent drive from P13 on the grid. Asher comes home P2 on the road, but he's going to drop like an absolute stone, and it's Dan the Racer. Excellent drive from him, comes home P2, P4 last week, second place this week. He may well be taking the championship lead after this one. Aniut Lloydie, P3, fought his way valiantly up the field on those mediums and almost got it onto the middle step of the podium, but he'll be up there with the top 3. Excellent drive from him. CN Goat, really good performance from him. Second top 5 in as many weeks. Crowjag with a decent P5 finish himself. Asher dropping all the way down with those pens. And then you're getting down to the guys who really will be wishing that they had kept it on the road and maybe not got caught up in drama. You got Bear 2.0, P7. He was in the mix for the win, I believe. Lieutenant started on pole position, can only come home P8. Instead, he was leading the championship, comes home P9. Team very neat. Well, that's one way of doing it. He may or may not get 10th position and then delayed. We'll be wanting to delay that race to rest as soon as possible. That is terrible, but it was a disaster for him. Saw some points, he brought it home, which is somewhat to his credit. But our race winner today, Honest Crook, the oldest man in race Spec, don't quote me on that, brings home the dub. His first win in this division. I think he might have won a race here or there before, but previous best of P3. Maiden victory for him in Open Tier 2. Congratulations. And also well done to the other two boys on the podium. Excellent drives. Enormous drama in that race. There was just, especially in the first half, there were just so many spins, so many people going off. Barely knew where to look. But it's Honest Crook with the win from P13 on the grid. Superb drive. Also down the race there. Someone's in my ear making a racket. Down the race of P2. Annie Lloydie started P2, brings it home P3. Solid points. And special credit to CN Goat as well from the back of the grid, bringing it home P4. Moving down, Lieutenant. Fastest lap of the race by an absolute country mile. Only P8 though. Special mention as well to Delayed for 28 seconds worth of pens. That's just about a record, I would say. But there we have it. Another night of mischief and mayhem in Open Tier 2. The racing standards haven't been amazing, but the racing has been entertaining, without a shadow of a doubt. Thank you everyone very, very much for joining me. It's been a laugh. It's been a pleasure. And until next time, I am Liam, aka Kickbutt Kiwi. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.